You should read TechCrunch article about Mr. Beast. It's so asinine. Someone mentioned they were calling him ableist, which is crazy. I'll read it. Fuck it. Why not? Mr. Beast blindness video puts systemic ableism on display. Wow. The video was more ableist than altruistic. The biggest problem with wanting to cure blindness is that it reinforces a moral superiority of sorts by those without disabilities over those who are disabled. Although not confronted nearly as often as racism and sexism, systemic ableism is pervasive through all parts of society. The fact of the matter is that the majority of abled people view disability as a failure of the human condition. As such, people with disabilities should be mourned and pitied. More pointedly, as Mr. Beast stated in the video's thumbnails, the disabilities should be eradicated and cured. What a controversial take. I wish all disabilities were cured. What an evil asshole. What evil asshole would say that? Oh man, what a bad guy saying disabilities should be cured. Wow. I've seen this. I'm not surprised. I have seen this take before, for what it's worth. There was another big controversy when there was a new surgery that came out that could help people with hearing problems. So, like, deaf people, hearing impaired people could undergo a surgery in order to hear for the first time or improve hearing. And for some reason, that surgery itself got vilified, saying that deaf people don't want to be cured. And people that did choose to go through the surgery were insulted and vilified by the people that chose not to, which is so fucking weird. Which is so unbelievably fucking weird. If you don't want it, that's fine, but there is absolutely no reason to try and vilify it. They take issue with the term cure. Nope. That is not what they take issue with. I am very familiar with how all of this goes. The belief is that's how God made them, that's how they're supposed to be, and there is nothing wrong with it. So in order to even get to that position where they are having surgeries is an insult. Because for some reason, they take it as some kind of attack where they just look at us like we're shit. They look at us like we're lesser than them, which is just a very awful perspective to have. Not a religious thing. Not to everyone, but I have seen that from a lot of people as well. Like I said, this is not news to me. We've talked about this before a couple years ago with deafness. There was a deaf celebrity who has a hearing aid. I can't remember who she is. I can't remember her name, but she has a hearing aid which allows her to hear. And when she decided to go through with that procedure and then get that device, the entire deaf community disowned her and treated her like Voldemort. Like, they fucking hated her for it. But that was my first experience even being made aware of this kind of treatment, which I just couldn't believe. Oh. What a convenient last line. Finding a cure for cancer or cure for AIDS is one thing. Disabilities need no cure. Okay. So only some things need a cure. The ones you deem morally acceptable. Jesus Christ. What is TechCrunch? I'm not familiar with this site. Do they usually spit out absolute garbage like this? I work in the deaf community, and deaf pride is a very real thing. I know, but there's a difference between deaf pride and vilifying anyone that does choose to go through with treatable hearing impairments. Those are two very different things. I'm not conflating those two. It's two very different mindsets. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the perspective of, you know what, I'm fine with it. And I understand other people's perspectives who are in similar positions who aren't fine with it, and without freaking out and vilifying and attacking them. It's super different. They're not the same community. Asmin got stun locked on this article for an hour today. Oh, someone told him about this as well? I guess it was a big article then. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just an absolutely awful take. There's nothing wrong with being like, you know what? I was born deaf. I'm really, I don't want to go through with the treatment. But anyone that does, that's totally up to them. That's totally within their right, and I'm fine with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But to write a whole article about how this man is the devil for treating people that consented to getting the surgery because they wanted to see again is crazy. And then for some reason, they're making a distinction between what's okay to cure and what's not okay to cure. So disabilities need no cure. Just full stop. Every disability ever needs no cure. Okay. Tell that to everyone who is currently disabled and getting treatment from foundations that are doing the best to try and make their lives better and try and improve their quality of life. Go ahead and slap the treatment right out of their hands. Since you speak for everyone with disabilities. Rage baited. I know. I know. It's just, this is so fucking unhinged. It is so unhinged. Mr. Beast even replied to this on Twitter. That I don't believe. I don't think he'd get this deep into the swamp. He'll sometimes dabble in the pic. Oh my god, he actually did reply to it. Wow. You weren't wrong. So he replied and ratioed the ever-loving fuck out of them. 163k likes on his reply to their 5k like article tweet. So you prefer we don't help people get life-changing surgery they want and they asked for. TechCrunch has not been seen since this since this reply. But yeah, this publication should be absolutely ashamed of publishing something like this. Pure rage bait.